I'm the Chief of Staff for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. I begin tonight with some tragic news. 5 individuals were murdered in a residence not far from this location. While investigators were investigating some leads that were inside the search perimeter, law enforcement agencies received a call from a concerned individual who had not heard from their relatives today. At approximately 6 p.m., law enforcement officers responded to a residence on Highway 7 and discovered 5 bodies inside the residence, 2 adults and 3 children. Missing from the residence is a 1999 white Chevy Silverado, license plate number DPV 4520. And we do believe at this time that the prime suspect is Gonzalo Lopez. Lopez may be driving this vehicle, and so we ask the public to be on the lookout. Again, it's a white 1999 single cab white Silverado that has damage on the driver's side. And it's also believed that Lopez may be armed. So should you see this vehicle, we ask that you call local law enforcement. Please know that this remains a very active investigation. In fact, the crime scene is still being processed at this time by both Leon County and DPS. But please know that we will not rest until Gonzalo Lopez is in custody. A massive manhunt is underway by local, state, and federal officials to track his movements and bring him into custody. Please know that he cannot run forever. And I would urge Lopez to give up at this time, because he will be brought to justice and he will be brought into custody. At this time, I'm going to take some questions.
What evidence? I know that you all were saying earlier in conferences that you all believe he's in the area. What evidence that you all still have any that shows that he's still in this area, that he could have done this?
I'm not going to get into specific evidence, but there is some information for us to lead to believe that Gonzalo Lopez was the individual that broke into that residence and committed these murders.
Do you know if he had any relation to the people inside that house?
We don't believe that at this time. These individuals, this is not a residence, a permanent residence. This is more of a weekend home. And these individuals were seen earlier this morning. So we do believe that those homicides took place at some point this afternoon, likely afternoon.
How were they killed?
I'm not going to get into those details.
Long bed or short bed on that white truck, and is it single cab or double cab?
It is a single cab, and it appears to be a short bed with some damage on the driver's side.
Did the white Chevy that you guys are searching for, is that owned by one of the victims? We ran the license plate for the owner of that, and they have a laundry list, it looks like, of violent offenses. What can you tell us about that?
Sure. That pickup is actually just a farm truck,
okay,
and it was parked there at the residence. They had purchased it some time ago. It's unclear whether they had actually registered it in their names. Again, it's just a farm truck that we believe Lopez stole.
What would you say to those who have been watching the manhunt and are a little bit concerned about concerned about the Texas Department of Criminal Justice finding Lopez with another murderer right now still on the run, Jose Diaz? What trust or what hope would you give them with another murderer still on the run that happened under the Texas Department of Criminal Justice's custody?
Sure, I'll just tell you that we're not going to rest until he's in custody and brought to justice. Lopez is obviously a killer. He has a disregard for human life. We know that. Law enforcement knows that. And so we'll continue to search for him doggedly until he's brought into custody.
What do you know about the family? The family that was found dead, 2 adults and 3 children that were found dead in the home where apparently the suspect was. What do you know about this family?
The family is not local. They are from the Houston area. And again, this was not a primary residence. This was a weekend residence. their loved ones became concerned whenever they were unable to contact them, and that's what led investigators to that residence. I will tell you that we have cleared that area and cleared that residence multiple times. That is within our search perimeter, and TDCJ remained in this area. I can tell you that that residence was within our primary search perimeter. TDCJ has kept personnel in this area. Just today we had more than 40 roving officers that were in this area. But again, that residence had been cleared multiple times, and we believe that that family showed up at that residence today.
We have viewers from Houston. Do you know what part of Houston?
I'm sorry?
Had you made contact, like talked to them on the phone before they came here, contacting all the families as you made the perimeter? Had y'all ever spoken to them? Did they know that a search was going on?
Yes. So as far as contact, we would place evidence tape on the residences to indicate that they had been searched. And I know that we have had multiple conversations with residents all throughout this area.
The Houston family, did they know coming to their house? Would they have talked to y'all? Did they know that this area was being searched?
Let for this truck to get by. I can't speak specifically on whether that family, whether we had contact specifically with them, but I can tell you that this has been a significant amount of media coverage throughout the area. We have a command post that is set up nearby. We have more than 40 roving officers in and around this area, to include roving around that, to include also evidence tapes that's placed on residents as they're cleared. So, again, TDCJ has continued to search this area, search for Lopez. We did not have evidence that brought him out of this area, and so that's why we remained, and that's why we continued to search.
Is it believed that he's been in that house for more than the 3 weeks, so since this came?
No, it had been cleared multiple times, and so we think that he was in that residence recently.
So how was he able to evade officers, 40 officers for 3 weeks?
I won't get into those details, but obviously he was able to stay within the woods, get into residence to get water and food, and possibly change his clothing.
He's been missing since May 12th. What is your agency's course of action?
Right, the course of action right now is to continue the search. So again, we'll leave no stone unturned, and we continue to search for Lopez. This is not just a TDCJ search. This is a local, a state, a federal search across the entire country.
As for the murders, are you
all white? I'm hearing reports that he could be in camo now. Could you talk about maybe what this looks like, what he possibly changed into?
I can't say specifically what he's wearing, but we do believe that he would have potentially taken some clothes from that residence and potentially some firearms.
Jason, you mentioned that this residence was off Highway 7. On the 20th, when you guys announced the update search perimeter, the updated search, you guys reopened Highway 7, and obviously this has been on the mind of all the residents here. I'm sure a lot of them are wondering, what is tomorrow going to look like? What resources are you guys allocating here? What's the course of action?
Sure. So we are continuing to work with DPS and with Leon County. We're going to continue to clear areas, clear residences. But again, I think because the vehicle is missing, there is a belief that he has moved out of the area. With that being said, we will continue to search throughout this area to see if we find any more evidence that puts him out. But I will say again, we've got a missing vehicle, we've got deceased individuals, and so there is a belief that potentially Lopez is in that vehicle and out of this area.
So you're not closing in on that?
Mr. Engel?
On the victims?
I could just tell you that the 2 adults and their 3 minors, I don't have specific ages.
How much manpower was added since you all expanded the search? I know that the FBI and U.S. Marshal was on it, but how much added manpower is on it now with such a serious tragedy that just happened?
I could just tell you that every available resource that is out there is being dedicated to this search.
And you said this
Do you
was
believe-
a visiting family?
is this exactly that they were visiting this home?
No, it's owned by that family, but again, it looks to be a weekend type residence. It wasn't a primary residence.
Do you know when they arrived in the home? Was it Memorial Day? When did they get there?
We believe that they came today.
How can the public help you?
Around the state of the truck?
What I would ask from the public is to be on the lookout for that truck. And then also, if you know anything about Gonzalo Lopez or his whereabouts, there's a $50,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. And so I would encourage you to call local law enforcement and so we can get Gonzalo Lopez back into custody.
Can we
Do you think
possibly
your
see that
agency
reward
failed
raising
this
with the
family?
stakes being higher now?
I'm sorry?
Can we possibly see that reward raising to possibly 100,000 with the stakes being higher with 5 people dead?
Yeah, I don't know at this time.
Do you think your agency failed this family?
Look, anytime that you have someone that escapes from custody, that is absolutely something that we have to go back to the drawing board and figure out how that happened. At the end of the day, we will conduct a serious incident review to determine exactly how Gonzalo Lopez was able to break free from his hand restraints, cut open a gate in order to get to the bus driver and stab the bus driver. So that's something that absolutely TDCJ will be doing, is going backwards, conducting a serious incident review to determine how exactly this escape took place.
Do we know the age
able
of
to
the
track
kids?
down the actual truck that he took and drive them to do that? Because I know a lot of trucks, newer trucks, do have software in there to track.
Yeah, it's a 99, but I can tell you that certainly that information has gone out to all law enforcement that's out there.
At this
What are
point,
your
do you
next
know
steps
any
in
relationship between this family and the suspect, or not at all?
It doesn't appear that there's any relationship to this family. It just appears, unfortunately, that Gonzalo Lopez entered that home where the family was at.
What are your next steps in investigating the murders?
Certainly that's something that the Texas Rangers and the Leon County Sheriff's Department is doing right now. So what's happening at the moment is they are at the crime scene going through and processing all of that information as we speak.
Any confirmed sightings of the truck since it left that house?
Yeah, I don't want to necessarily get into that, but I would ask the public to search for that.
Have you notified the Houston family?
The family has been notified.
Can you verify the ages of the children again?
I don't have them, I'm sorry. I just know that they were minor.
Houston's a big area. Do you know what area?
I don't want to specifically say at this time.
Okay.
So do you have any inkling where the vehicle is? Do you have any area closed off right now that you guys suspect it could be?
Certainly I don't want to pigeonhole and say that we're looking at a specific area. I just say that we're looking statewide for that vehicle. Gonzalo Lopez has ties to South Texas. We know that he's a former Mexican mafia gang member, and so obviously that is going to be an area that will be a heightened search area, but I'll just tell you that it's not confined to South Texas. Anywhere in Texas will be a place that we're looking.
When do you think you'll release the identities?
Over here just a few minutes ago. Why? At some point you try to negotiate with these people or never got in touch with him?
No, the SWAT would be in the event that we need to clear additional houses that are in and around the crime scene. We need to make sure that he's not holed up in an additional house. And so that would be the reason for some of those response teams.
Thanks for the information. Do you know when you'll be able to release the identities of those 5 people who died?
I don't. I'll circle back with the sheriff to make sure that whenever that information is available, it will likely come from Leon County Sheriff's Department.
Thank you. When do you think the next major update is going to come?
I hope the next update is when he's captured.
You mentioned that the family, the victims, are from Houston. That truck, the plate, the person that owns it, you run the license plate, they're also from Houston. There's no connection between them or Lopez or the owner of that truck at all?
No. So we obviously ran the registration. We know when it was sold to the family, and speaking with the family, that truck was just a vehicle that they parked up here. It was not something that's tied specifically to the suspect.
Lopez has shot at officers before. He was charged for attempted murder for shooting at an officer. Do you guys think, this could be a gunfight when you guys do meet him?
I will just say that Lopez has is a person that does not care. He is an individual that has obviously killed and has just killed. And so, again, I think law enforcement will take all the precautions necessary to bring him into custody and bring him to justice.
Were there any?
All right.
Thank you, officer.
Thank you all.
Have a good night.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, so that's breaking news out of Centerville, Texas, regarding escaped inmate Gonzalo Lopez. You see his photo on your screen right there. He's 46 years old. We know he escaped in early May, mid-May actually, on May 12th, and we are told that he possibly broke into a home in Centerville, Texas. That's about 2.5 hours northeast of Austin, and he possibly killed 2 adults and 3 kids. We're told the family is from the Houston area, and authorities did not identify those victims, those 5 people who were found dead inside a house in Centerville, Texas. We're told that house is used as a weekend residence, and the family likely showed up to the house today, and Gonzalo likely has something to do with that crime that took place there. And authorities are searching for a white pickup truck. They said it's a Silverado white Chevy pickup truck, and it's missing from the home, and they believe that Lopez is driving around in it. They also mentioned that he is armed and dangerous, and people should be on the lookout for him. They are also offering a $50,000 reward leading up to his arrest. Again, his name is Gonzalo Lopez. He is 46 years old, and initially he was in custody. He was serving sentences for crimes that include killing a man with a pickaxe. His 8 other convictions since 1994 include 1 charge of attempted capital murder for firing a gun at a sheriff's deputy, and 1 charge of kidnapping, and 3 separate counts of aggravated assault. Now, Lopez escaped while he was being driven with other inmates, 15 other inmates, in a bus from a prison in Gatesville, Texas. They were being driven to a medical appointment in the city of Huntsville. Now, he managed to break free out of his handcuffs and to saw his way into the driver's compartment, where he began fighting the driver. That was on May 12th. So it's been a good 3 weeks that this inmate, 46-year-old Gonzalo Lopez, has been on the run, and now authorities there in Texas are on the hunt for him, especially now that they have found 5 bodies. They say a family, 2 adults and 3 kids found dead inside a home. That's the latest here regarding that particular situation in Centerville, Texas. We will continue to bring you the latest. If we have more developments, again, we will bring you those updates as they develop here on Live Now from Fox. We're going to take a short break.